Welcome to Bounce Back Stronger, the podcast that explores ways to find peace and purpose after difficulty. I'm your host, Donna Ferris, and today we have our first repeat guest, international psychic medium and spiritual teacher, Cristina Leeson. A little about Cristina. With over 2 decades of experience, Cristina has been teaching, conducting readings, and guiding people to rediscover their purpose in this lifetime. Her journey includes facilitating spiritual expos, speaking at the Edgar Cayce Institute, hosting spiritual conferences and retreats, and hosting a radio show that served the entire U.S. East Coast. She recently published her first book, Live in the Light, Respect the Dark, about her ghostly experiences and how to handle these spirits when you come upon them. And here we are. Christina, thank you so much for joining us on Bounce Back Stronger. I'm so honored to have you on the podcast.
Donna, thank you. I really loved our last talk and looking forward to today.
Me too. I was
Hmm.
excited about it. So maybe we'll just start off with the book, which I've read and I love it. It's so easy to read, folks, and it's
Is this
got
one?
such great there it is. It's really entertaining and helpful, I thought.
Oh, thank you. So for years, I always wanted to do a book on my ghostly experiences. For years, I've had different experiences with ghosts, facing them, crossing them, banishing them, clearing spaces out, trying to get rid of them to create like a safe space. Our home should be a sanctuary. It should be a safe space so that we don't have that they call it psychic riffraff that coming in disturbing our sleep and our lives because ghosts can do that. So, in so many readings for so long, this would come up like, how do you protect yourself? How do you clear a ghost? How do you protect your space? So, I decided I had to do it. And I just woke up one morning and it just hit me like, I had to make this book. I have to start writing it. And like 6 weeks later, I had it done. I had everybody to help me. My daughter is an artist. She's amazing. And she did the covers for me.
It's a great
Um,
cover.
yeah. And the
It really is.
back cover is really cool because it has a picture of the Thunderbird. She wanted to include that in the cover, which is really cool. And that's exactly what the Thunderbird looked like in one of my stories because it was haunted when I was growing up. So the book really explains all these different experiences that you can relate to. And the way that I explain the experiences are very laid back. It's a very easy read. It's a short book, it's 100 pages, it's not long at all. But it also gives you the information on how to clear your space, how to sage, and how to use crystals to put in all around your home to create like this vortex of protection. And it works. I've used it multiple times in multiple locations, and it is amazing. And how to talk to a ghost, how to cross it over, and if you can't cross it over, how to banish it. So everything is step by step how to do these things because I've had to explain them so many times.
So you're a Ghostbuster, basically, right?
I'm a Ghostbuster, yeah. But I want to create the whole purpose.
And I mean that in a serious way.
Oh,
I'm not mocking. I am honestly very respectful of the ghost. I mean,
yeah.
by far. But it was funny. You came out right when the latest movie came out, and I was like going, you know, she's a Ghostbuster. I think you even used it
Oh,
in one
I
of your
guess it
ads.
did come out when the movie
It
came.
did. It did.
I
And
didn't
I
even
think somebody
realize
said
that.
that in one of your things. I think it was, real
I
life
think it did.
Ghostbuster.
Yeah, I think that's so funny that you said that. It was that's just a
Not
coincidence.
intentionally, obviously, but
No, it wasn't. No, I just knew I needed to get it out. So I was working with a publisher and they're like, we can't get it out fast enough, but we're backlogged. And I just said, I have to do it myself. And I had everybody in line. I had the editor, she's fantastic, Alicia Hoffmeyer, she's amazing. And my daughter doing the covers and stuff. And my wonderful husband, like, he's the one that helped me get it published because he's so good at that detail oriented. But it's doing really good. I mean,
mhm,
I've
the
sold a lot of
reception has been
copies.
really great. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm gonna sell more. I know that just getting the word out, and I'm gonna see if I can get in a book signing and stuff like that, and just get it out there. But it's so needed. Like I didn't have that in all the years I've been doing. Like I would read books from different authors, and they didn't have like the step by step thing that I felt I could really use. I think it's a really good guidebook, like something that you could have and utilize in a lot of different situations when it comes to ghosts.
Yeah, even the saging instructions you give, I've never seen saging instructions like that before. I
No,
mean,
I haven't
they were just
either. But
waving it around.
yeah, well, they'll
That's all
tell
I
you.
saw.
Yeah, they'll tell people will say, or in books, they'll tell you, you got to go around the house, but it's like how and what is it? It's not the fire, it's the smoke. And
And
sometimes the ghost
why?
will put it out like you don't expect that. Sometimes the ghost will come in and you're in the middle of saging and it blows it out. So, and I explain it in the book. It's like it's everything pretty much you need to know about ghosts. But I'm working on my second book, and that's going to be all the connection with guides, all the different experiences that I've had through the years with guides and how they help us and how you can communicate better with your guides and actually get closer to them so that they can help you more deeply.
And what do you suggest people do to get closer to their guides?
Well, I really believe in meditation, and a lot of people don't take the time to meditate. And I was one of those people. I would fight it. My guides would tell me all the time, like I would pull oracle cards for myself for years. And I'd pull oracle cards out and it would say meditate. And I'm like, oh, not again. Like I have to meditate. So I fought it for a long
Hmm.
time. And then I started to realize that I needed to get down and dirty and just really, really get focused and committed to meditating. And when I started doing that, I'm a big one on meditating, not just to clear your mind, but to meditate to get answers. And so I decided when I started meditating, I wanted to actually meet the guides. I wanted to get information, direction, answers. And they came. And each meditation that I got, my third eye got stronger, it got brighter. It went from seeing colors to seeing silhouettes to
Mm.
seeing full out visions, colorful, detailed visions of the guides, the other side, angels, you name it. And with each meditation I did, it got stronger and stronger and stronger. I can't stress enough the importance of meditating. I have 16 free podcast meditations on my website that anybody can do at any time. And they're healing. And each one, you'll either meet a loved one on the other side or you'll connect to your guides and you'll get information. There's even a past life regression there for you if somebody wants to do that. But that was the biggest thing to help me really blow open my third eye, and it got really clear through the meditation. I met all my guides and their names and what they do for me and different guidance on different situations. So I can't stress it enough. And the other thing that I found, if you can make time every day for your guides, like using oracle cards are the thing. It's like a phone book to your
Hmm.
guide. It
I agree.
or not phone book. It's like a telephone to your guides. If you can use them in the morning, it's a direct line to your guides, and they tell you exactly what you need to be mindful for the day. And it's not tarot. It took me a year to really, really get into tarot and learn it. And I did do that, but it was the oracle cards that really made a difference. And it eventually led me to not needing them. So it took me to a point where I already knew what card I was going to pull before I pulled it. Then it took me to a point where I didn't need it. I was already getting information where I didn't even need to pull the cards. And that's where you need to be.
Yeah.
Your goal is to not need them. It's like a wrench or a screwdriver. And once you make that really strong connection with your guides, you don't need the cards anymore. I mean, I have them sitting here like, and I have like all these decks and I don't use them anymore because it's like, oh, okay, that's what you're telling me. Okay, then we have to do that, you know.
Yeah.
So
And don't you have to be kind of you say a lot in your weekly, and you have these weekly emails, which I highly recommend getting on.
Yeah, the newsletter
Like,
for the week. Yeah.
yeah, they're so good
Thanks.
and so relevant. Like I was having a lot of the things that you had in today's. I was like, oh my God, this is so me. You also talk a little bit maybe around keeping your vibration high, which is kind of, everybody says that, but not letting the negative things stick with you or stick in your mind as much. Maybe take a second on that too, I think.
Easier said than done, right?
Ha!
It's like really
Always easier said than done.
it's a constant policing, you know. It's a
Yeah.
constant, like, you have a little police officer on your shoulder, like, what are you doing? You know, like,
Stop
why
it.
are you thinking like that again? You know, stop it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a constant, and being on earth, being a human, this is the best way I can explain it. It's kind of like when you don't hear your guides and you feel alone, it's like being in the bottom of a swimming pool. So you're in the bottom of the swimming pool and you're just sitting in the bottom of the pool and you can't hear anything and you can't see anything and you feel all alone. And to me, that's like the dark night of the soul, right?
Mhm.
But it's the lowest vibration. And the lowest vibration is I am alone and there's nobody
Mhm.
here to help me and I can't get through this and it's never going to work. So your mental focus is totally negative. You can't hear your guides because they're at the surface of the pool. So our job is to raise our vibration by having faith and hope and trust and prayer and whatever else you want to mix in there, meditation. And what you're doing is you're stripping yourself of your weight so that you can float to the surface.
Yep.
And when you get to the surface and you meet spirit, you can take a big, long, deep breath above the surface. And that's where your guides are. And that's where opportunities, epiphanies, aha moments happen when you're at the surface, not when you're at the bottom. And our job as humans is to find our strength to swim up, to make it to the top, to float, to tread water, to stay afloat. That's the key so that we can listen to guidance from above the water, and the surface of the water is the earth, so that we can apply it on the earth plane, if that makes sense.
Totally makes sense. And I think the meditation, in addition to giving you the contact to your spirit guides, also helps you see when you're not in that
Oh yeah.
space, right? I mean, I
and and the
I kind of
cards
call and, and what?
and the cards, and when you're doing
Yeah.
oracle cards, like,
Oh my
they're
God.
going to tell you,
Oh,
like, you're in your head, get out of your head, or
well, it's so funny how many times I will pull a card. I pull one every morning after I do my spirit guided meditation, and a lot of times I'll go like, I don't understand this card at all. What this makes absolutely no sense. And then I always look at my journal at the end of the day. So this is a great practice to do. Write it down in the morning,
oh
and
yeah.
at the end of the day, look at what you got, and you'd be like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's what that
Totally
was telling
accurate.
me.
Yep,
Okay,
it's totally accurate.
spot on.
And when you write it down too, another thing is, write down the cards that you got. It only takes like 10 minutes to,
Mhm.
shuffle the cards. You pull 3 cards. When you pull them, you say, tell me what I need to know for the day. You pull 3 cards and it comes with a little book so you can read the book. But then jot down what cards you got and any kind of hits that you might have got during the card pull, and then go do your day. And then at the end of the day, get your journal and then just write in there and make sure you date it and write in there what was validated. Okay,
Mm.
so what you went through that day and what card told you that that was going to happen that day, and validate it. And I'll tell you what, I have journal after journal after journal. When I was going through a really hard time, I didn't even have to open the book of the journal. I just held it. Okay. I just held the book, and I knew how many times spirit was right on. And it brought me back to the surface of the pool. It brought me
Mhm.
instantly from down deep back to the surface. I'm like, oh yeah, this happened and this happened and this happened and this happened. It was right on, and spirit was there the whole time, and it was accurate, and it helps you keep your vibration up. Those journals are so important because when you need help, they're there for you.
Hmm. And you're able to look back and just know that it's been there for you. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Mhm.
So, what are the spirits telling you now that we should be aware of?
Well, we are in a really pivotal moment right now. We have a lot of planets in a certain alignment that are creating this amazing manifesting energy. And if you want to manifest something good, you have to have your vibration high, because if you have a low vibration, you're going to bring in more low. So if you are in chaos and negativity, all you're going to create from that is more negativity. Okay, like you bump your shin on a coffee table and you go, I'm having a crappy day today. Well, then 10 things happen the rest of the day that are crappy. Right.
Because you
it,
said, because this
it
is what you
doesn't.
said.
Right. It doesn't get any better, right? Yeah, it's exactly what you said. You manifested it. So what you have to say is, I change it. I change this day. Okay, spirit was probably trying to get my attention. What do I need to do? Well, sometimes when you trip or when you get hurt, it means you're ungrounded. You're too much in your head. So you get grounded, you raise your vibration up to the top of the pool again, and then you just ask spirit, okay, what do I need to know for the day? And it could be a word. You could get patience, or you could get slow down. You could get it's not time. You could get something where it's time to act or make a decision. Spirit talks to you like one word things sometimes, or sometimes they use numbers. Sometimes they send you an animal. You'll be driving and you see an animal or something on the side of the road, and it'll stop and look right at you. And those are all signs. Spirit sends these animals and these numbers to you to talk to you, to communicate. We have to learn how to talk spirit. It's just like any language that's on the earth, right? And you
Yeah.
use what, babel, or use like to learn French, or you learn
Need
Chinese, whatever you want to learn,
we need an
Mandarin.
app.
Right. So we need an app for spirit, right? So we need to talk spirit. How do you talk spirit? Well, if you keep getting 1111, 1111, 222 all day long, every day, it's asking you to learn the language. It's telling you, hey, we're talking to you. It's not just, oh, that's really cool.
And it's asking you to manifest something, right?
When you see numbers like that, like in sequence 222, 555, 1111, it's an answer.
Hmm.
It's an actual answer. So what's happening is spirit communicates to us with our mind. So they're telepathic. Okay. So we're thinking, oh, I really don't want to do this job anymore. I really should look at another job. 1111. So spirit's saying, yes, you should be looking for another job. We told you about 5 times already. The past 5 times we showed you 1111, right?
Yeah, you weren't listening.
You're listening. Spirit saying, yeah, 555, right? So
Yeah.
you have a problem going on with a family member, and you don't want to deal with it because it's over your head, and you think to yourself, I really should fix this. And you see 555. What is 5? 5 means solve the problem. That's what that means. 5 is solve the problem. 555 means you can solve this problem because you have the power to do it. Isn't that neat?
That is very cool.
But people don't think about, what was I thinking when I saw it? I just
Yeah.
saw it over and over and over again. It's an answer to your question. You're
Yeah.
asking spirit. You're playing with spirit and saying, hey, what if? What if? What if I do this? What if I do that? And spirit is just answering us.
Yeah. I walk every morning with my dog
Mm.
and I'll be having thoughts about things. And if I see a cardinal, I can always say, okay, that's the thought that I should be doing. It doesn't happen that often, but
Yeah.
when it does, it's always like going, what was I thinking? Because that's usually what it is. It's telling me right in that moment, that was the thing.
Yes. We get so drawn to like, wow, that's a sign. But it's like, wow, that's really cool. But you're not thinking, okay, what is spirit trying? And then you forget about it
They
and you
forget
go on
about it.
your day. And then we don't take time to say, whoa, wait a minute, that was a sign. I have to look it up.
Yeah.
Okay, me, if I saw like a raccoon cross the street when I'm going and taking a walk, I stop what I'm doing.
Hmm. Me
I'll
too.
Google it or go run home and get my book. There's a really good book by Stephen Farmer. Oh, I have it. It's called Animal Spirit Guides. I tell everybody get this book.
Oh, I should get that. I don't have that
Yeah,
one.
it's fantastic. And it's nice and little. Look how little it is.
I
He
love
has
that.
a big one, but I like the pocket size one.
Yeah,
And you see an animal and it has it in there and you can look it
that's
up.
good.
And it gets right to the point and it tells you what it means. I like animals speak, but that book it like goes into all the characteristics of the animal and it takes a long
Long.
time. And I want to know now, like, because
Yeah,
I want to know what it means right now so I can integrate it. And a lot of times, cardinal means it's a loved one on the other side
that's
that's coming.
that's what I always think. So I think
So
it's,
you're just saying, hey,
they're like
I'm here.
underscoring, hey, this is the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, I've had them show up too when I've needed them. Like I've had tons of them show up at once when I'm like really in a deep, issue, usually,
Hmm.
with a loved one. But I find them very, very helpful. What else should we know for this time?
There is a Pluto retrograde in Aquarius in May, and this is big. This is great, big, huge. So this Pluto retrograde is asking us to finally rid ourselves of whatever feelings of unworthiness, or maybe if you grew up and your parent told you you're not that great, you need to just settle, you're not smart enough, you're never going to really succeed, so why bite off more than you can chew, just settle. Just really heavy negative things that we learned from our youth growing up, or maybe like a past life, like maybe we
Mhm.
lived a past life that was totally toxic and we brought it over. It's like bleeding over into this lifetime.
To
And
this
you
life.
keep ask yourself, like, why does this keep happening to me? And because we are in this big manifestation time, we can't manifest the sky and the stars and amazing things in our life if we still have this anchor of negativity, feeling like we're not worthy or we don't deserve the best because we
Mm.
don't feel like we're the best, right? So we have to go in and get rid of that anchor so that we can manifest mansions and abundance and love and adventure, whatever it is that we crave in this lifetime. We have to get rid of that final heavy
Yeah. Cook.
thing that's block. It's like it's a block.
Yeah.
It's a block. And your guides don't block you. Divine doesn't block you. Your angels don't block you. No one on the other side blocks you. They only want the best for you. They want you to succeed. What blocks you is yourself.
Hmm.
And your guides will come in and say, you can have this. And we go, but and there's the anchor, but
Yeah.
I have to do this, and they're like, well, yeah, you've been doing that for how long, but you don't have to do that forever. And we just stand in our way.
Yeah.
Uh,
Get out of your own way. But that's like my number one oracle card.
get out of
Get out
our
of your own
yeah.
way.
It's not our fault because it's something that we experienced in life, right? And that experience, we sucked it in, we embraced it for the negative aspect. Like, there's certain things in your psyche that when you see something that's negative, you're like, oh no, that's not for me, that's not me, I don't know what that person is talking about, I don't agree with that. And that's healthy.
Hmm.
But there's another part of the psyche where someone tells you something, someone that you love or someone that you respect tells you something and you just absorb it,
Hmm.
and then you believe it. And whatever it was, at whatever time of life it was like you're vulnerable. You just absorb that negative thought, that negative belief system. And that's what continues to block you. So, right now, there's a huge energy that's coming in that's taking it out of us. So, it's making you see where it came from and the truth of it, that it's not yours. It was something you embraced or something
Mm.
that you absorbed, and that this toxic thing needs to go for you to move to the next level in your life, if that makes sense.
No, totally
That's
does.
basically it in a nutshell. Like, that's what's happening. And this is great, big, huge. So a lot of us are opening up spiritually. And this year's a big spiritual year for people, and really hearing spirit and hearing loved ones on the other side, and mediumship growing, and people healing and learning healing modalities. It's just amazing right now. And what's happening is this huge shift in awakening that's going on is happening in conjunction with releasing this block. And it's going to bring a lot of light workers out in the open, and really stepping forward and writing books and teaching classes and doing retreats and doing healing sessions, teaching healing. It's humongous what's happening right now. It gives me goosebumps just thinking about it. It's so exciting.
It's exciting. You would be proud of me in a work call. Somebody had a pain on their left side of their neck, and I actually started talking Reiki with them. And I was like, don't hold this against me. But she was open to it, which was really actually kind of great. And it was pretty cool. So anyway,
Yeah. Well, and a
I,
lot of times people they're curious. It's very few and far between that I've had people completely block it for fear. It's usually fear that blocks it.
yeah.
But for the most part, people are curious about it, and they'll try it,
Hmm.
and you can put a different label on it. And there's so many different healing modalities. You got quantum touch, you have hands-on healing,
Good point.
but it's all the same energy. It's all from divine light. So if you want to put a different name on it so that it's accepted, then go for it. Who cares? You don't have to call it
That's
Reiki,
right.
you can say, like, hey, I know this thing. Can I try it? You know,
Can I try it on you?
can I try it on you? And it's not about like getting accolades for doing it. It's
No, no,
about
no,
being a
no.
light worker. Like, that's what we're here for, right?
Well, yeah, in
Help
that
each
situation,
other.
it jumped into my head. For anybody's listening, I think we've been talking since well, it's 2018, I guess. And I was a big skeptic at the time, and now am open to when the thought pops into my head that, oh, maybe I should say that. Whereas before I would think it and not do anything, but now I'm open to the intuition of the moment. That's a progression for sure, because I didn't have that in the beginning.
It is. It is a progression for everybody. Everybody, like, it's not about reaching a final spiritual destination. You're going to grow and learn until you get the shovel out and you go in the ground, right? So you're going to learn to the last day, till you, even when you cross over, you're learning. You're always growing.
That's right.
Always
Right.
learning something. My favorite sentence is, you learn something every day.
Is there anything else you want to share before we close out?
For anybody that wants to really develop their skills, what I would say is ask spirit, ask your guides, and say to them, I'm open to learning. I'm open to trying something new out of my comfort zone so that I can serve in some way. So a lot of us are turning into humanitarians and want to serve on a bigger scale. And you know what? I have to say, you don't have to stand on a soapbox in the middle of New York City to do your purpose. To tap in and be a spiritual light worker could mean just holding the hand of someone who's crossing, could mean putting a hand on someone's shoulder and saying, you matter.
Mhm.
Just those little things can make such a huge impact. And even just keeping our energy at that higher level and
Yeah.
floating on the top of that pool. Because what spirit showed me years ago is that the more people floating on the top of the pool, the more spirit will see us. It comes to mind a lily pad. We're all lotuses,
Hmm.
right? On the
Yeah.
top of the water, each and every one of us. Let's create a garden
That's
of
right.
those lotuses. Let's
Yeah.
have thousands and thousands and thousands of those lotuses to show spirit that we're all open and we hear you and we matter and we are divine. We are of divine light.
And that's in our control. I think that's
Right.
one of the things that's hard. People can get very, and me too. I mean, you can get very distracted by things that are going on and wonder what is in your control to make things better. And this really is in your control. And I love this quote by Sharon Salzberg: "Do the good in front of you, no matter how small." And this is
Exactly.
one way that you can do that.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. And those little things really do matter in the scheme of things. And like I said, just working on vibration. There's always going to be stuff happening. And there's always something that's going to test us and kind of try and knock us off kilter. But if we stay resilient and we stay open to the divine and really, really make it a priority to stay open to that divine source, I swear to you, the blessings and the magnificence of that, the opportunities, the epiphanies, the connection to the divine, it just enhances and gets stronger and stronger and stronger. If you can do it, if I can do it, you can do it.
If I can do it, you can do it. That's right. Well, thank you so, so much. I appreciate you being on again, and always a pleasure to be in your light.
Thank you. It was so great to talk to you. And it really
Mm.
is one of my deepest feelings of wanting to help and wanting to serve. And this is perfect. And thank you for doing this and allowing all these magnificent people to come on and share their gifts and their knowledge with us because we need it. We need that. Thank you.
Thank, thank you. It's my absolute pleasure. This is my passion project, and I'm thankful for you being a part of it.
Thank you.
That's all for today. If you want to learn more about Christina's book and other offerings, those links will be in the episode notes. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this episode was helpful. And if it was, please subscribe, drop a review, or share it with your friends and family. That's the best way to get it in the hands of those who may benefit. And if my daughters Sienna and Sylvia are listening, I just want you to know how proud I am of you, and I love you so much. Bye now.